Hello guys. Welcome to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well and keeping safe. So I thought of sharing my eyeshadow palette collection and swatches today with you guys because I had already made this video but I didn't include any swatches in that, and I wanted to share which ones are my favorite and which formulas I prefer the most. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into it. And also, I'm storing my eyeshadows in this Nikah delivery box I got because why not? Yeah, if you have something which fits, just store your stuff in that. So first of all, I am going to show you my favorite eyeshadow palette, that is Norvina by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This eyeshadow palette retails for about 450 rupees and it has about 16 shades in it. Now the price per value for the eyeshadow is quite great when it comes to high-end makeup, but it's still expensive and you can often get this on discount. So this is how it looks from inside, and the upper row has shimmers and the shimmers are simply fabulous. I'm going to show you its swatches, and the down row has all the mattes. Now the thing with the mattes is that you don't get a, let's say, a more darkening shade like a black or an extra dark brown. So the dimension you can get from this eyeshadow palette won't be that great, but it really works for me because I'm a person who loves soft eyeshadows and softer floatier colors. So yeah, let's swatch this. So this is the first shade. Can you see the pigmentation? It's so amazing. And this is called Dreamer. Then we have the second shade, which is Summer. This is a pink, which is called Wild Child, and the pigmentation of this shade is a bit off. Then we have this shade, Rose Gold, and honestly it's one of the favorite shades in this eyeshadow palette because it's really beautiful and amazing. Then this one is Celestial, and I was really intrigued on trying this shade, but again, like with the pigmentation is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful periwinkle shade, and this is like the star of this eyeshadow palette, and I really gravitate towards something which is like purple and fairy like. Now these are the last two shades. This is Dazzling. Now Dazzling kind of looks same to the Rose Gold, but it's a bit on a yellower side. And this is the last shade, which is Drama. Now Drama is a darker matte shade with shimmer influxed in that. Now coming to the matte shades, so these are matte shades. The matte shades are a bit powdery, you get a lot of fallout with that, and yeah, I'm not really mad about the fallout, but it is what it is. Every eyeshadow palette is going to have some of its advantages and disadvantages. Now this is the shade Soul, which is like the periwinkle shade, and it's like the star of the show. And then I have last shades. So these are the swatches of the Norvina eyeshadow palette. Now I would say that you get this palette if you really love the shimmers, because as you guys can see, the shimmers of this eyeshadow palette are like popping and they are so reflective. Your eyes almost look wet, and I'm always for that look. I've already made a video on the wet looking eyeshadows, so yeah, I'm all for that look. And yeah, I think it's a very beautiful eyeshadow palette if you are into this sort of color story. Moving on to my next eyeshadow palette, and that is like my oldest palette, which is Sophie X Revolution. It's so old, like you can see the markings have kind of worn out a bit. The pigmentation of this eyeshadow has sadly changed over time. Like it was great during the first year, but after the first year the pigments have gone. Like it's not as pigmented, the shimmers are not as pigmented. I'm going to show you its swatches and all. but I use this eyeshadow palette a lot because it has a lot of variety. You can see you have from white to black, you have every gradation you can create with this eyeshadow. And also you have a lot of gold options, and you know, you need a lot of gold options because you know, gold is a very Indian color. We use it a lot in our weddings and festivals, so I think it's very useful for me when it comes. And also it has these glitter shades, and I use this shade quite a lot, and this one too. It kind of like adds extra dimension to your eyes. And some it has some dud shades as well, like these shades are very, you know, they're not really pigmented, and this is a great shade. Like, this shade is not pigmented, this shade is also worthless, but I'll buy this again for the mattes and for these 3, 4, 5, 6 shades. So yeah, it's a great palette, and I think it's great for its value. So let's get into the swatches. So this is the first gold glitter shade. I kind of forgot to swatch it. This is the purple shade. As you guys can see, it's not pigmented. This is another gold, and this is a sort of a bronzy gold. So yeah, now this is the green shade. It's extremely pigmented too. Now moving on to other shades like this, 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 and this. So yeah, the pigmentation, it's quite, you know, it's not the greatest in this palette. I'm going to be very honest with you guys, but I really like this for the amount of variety it provides. And also all the shimmers are not terrible, some are good, like you have this green shade, the gold shades, right? But yeah, the colored shades are really horrible if I'm being honest. Then this shade, now these are like toppers, so obviously the pigmentation is not going to be great. I'm not going to swatch the matte eyeshadows because you know, they exactly swatch as they look in the pan. So I'm going to show a quick little swatcheroo of that. So these are all the matte shades I've swatched. So the pigmentation, as you guys can see, it has worn out with time, but you can easily build up these matte colors if you want to. So these are the shimmers, right, and these are the mattes. And yeah, this is this palette. And honestly, I would love this eyeshadow palette even more if the pigmentation of the dud shades was a little better. But all in all, it's a good all-in-one eyeshadow palette, and it's kind of really worth for the money. You can get this easily for about 900 rupees. Now moving on to my Nikaki eyeshadow palette. Now the Nikaki eyeshadow palettes, if I'm completely honest, they are a hit or a miss. I've seen a lot of people going gaga over them, but honestly, like, this eyeshadow palette that I tried from Nikaki was wonderful, but this sugar plum eyeshadow palette was like such horrible. It had such an horrible formula, it was not workable at all. I depotted the entire palette and filled it with my single eyeshadows. Like you can see, I have just only one single remaining eyeshadow from this. So I'm really sorry, I can't show you the horribleness of this eyeshadow palette, but I'm very honest, I'm being extremely honest, that this sugar plum eyeshadow palette was complete disaster. But this Under the Sea eyeshadow palette, it's very gorgeous. I've like so sad because I've hit pan on this shade, and this shade is very beautiful. It's something else, like it's a beautiful shade. Now without further blabbering, I'm going to show you the swatches. Now this eyeshadow palette, if I'm being very honest, is like extremely creamy. The mattes are so creamy. The mattes are like the superstars of this eyeshadow palette. My god, can you see? This eyeshadow palette retails for about 350 rupees, and oh my god, the mattes are like something else. They're like creaminess personified. So these are the mattes, and they last for a very long time, and they look exactly like this on your eyes. So if you're someone who loves pigmentation, who loves, those sparkly eyes, this would do wonders for you. So this is kind of the shade I got done with, and these are the shimmer shades. So this eyeshadow palette, it's really wonderful if you want to start with experimenting with colors, because it's just totally worth the 350 rupees tag it is. Now, I can't say the same for this eyeshadow palette. I mean, if you are thinking of buying this Sugar Plum, it's not really great, so just walk past that. And I'm not going to swatching these eyeshadows because they're not available in India, so yeah, I don't think it would be worth the time swatching them. But yeah, avoid the Sugar Plum and get this Under the Sea palette. It's wonderful. Now I also have this little quad from Wet n Wild, and it's in the shade, I don't know, it's the pink and purple one. Now the matte of this eyeshadow palette, it's like amazing, as you guys can see, but the shimmers are very lackluster. They won't show up on your eyes, like literally they're like, oh, they're not great, apart from this shade which kind of like shows on here. But I'm not a fan of this eyeshadow palette. If you're a beginner and if you want to start with makeup, I mean, it's all right, but yeah, you can get better eyeshadows at 250 rupees, which is from Swiss Beauty and all of that jazz. But yeah, don't yeah, it's not that great. Now I have my favorite single eyeshadows coming up, so I hope you guys are excited for that. Now firstly, I'm going to start with my Swiss Beauty collection. Now I have these 3 eyeshadows from Swiss Beauty, and I'll be very honest, it's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I hate these glitter eyeshadows. I mean, they are very reasonable and they look very nice on your lids, but they crumble like anything. I mean, they are very heavy, and they kind of bundle crumble in between. Now this shade is all right because the glitter particles are a bit finer in this 02 shade. I think it's 02. Yeah, it's 02 Diamond Dust. They are a bit finer in this eyeshadow, but when it comes to this eyeshadow, I mean, I will die for this color if I'm being very honest, but the glitter particles are very coarse on it, okay? If you try to touch your eyes a little bit, the glitter will come falling off your eyelids and it will fall on your face, and you will have that glitter rain on your face, and it doesn't look flattering most of the times. So the shade is really gorgeous, but yeah, it's just the formula. I just hope the glitter in them was a little bit smaller, but yeah, what can you say? I mean, you get these for about 200 rupees, so yeah, it's okay for the price, but I really don't like their how they apply on the eyes. I mean, they look fantastic, but they're not comfortable for wearing. Then I have this little Swiss Beauty jelly eyeshadow, and you can see it's really small. The quantity is very little, I'm not exaggerating, but I really love this eyeshadow. Firstly, because it's a cream eyeshadow, and secondly, Swiss Beauty has a less really fine shimmer particles in it. They are not shards of metal like in the liquid eyeshadow, and you can see they are really pigmented. They look very nice and they're very easily blendable. Okay, so with these liquid eyeshadows, you are just applying them and they're just done. You can't really blend them, you can't really move them from here to there, but this thing is very blendable. It will look natural on your eyes. It won't look like, okay, you have applied craft glue glitters on your eyes. So yeah, it's a very beautiful option if you want to buy it. And this is in the shade 03. There are other shades too, but I have not tried them, so I won't recommend them because Swiss Beauty qualities varies, as I've told you with the glitter eyeshadows. So yeah, this is the shade 03. If you love copper, you would really love this. and I just wanted to show you close up of this Swiss Beauty thing. See, I tried to clean it up with my makeup remover, and the glitter is everywhere. So I hope you get what I was trying to say with the liquid eyeshadows, that they are like very fallout prone and they don't look nice once they fall on your face. So I have these singular eyeshadows from some brands, so I'm going to swatch them for you guys. Now this eyeshadow is the cream eyeshadow from Revlon, and it's the shade Praline. Now this shade is very beautiful if you want to have a natural day-to-day look, but it's not really pigmented, but it looks very beautiful, natural and effortless on your eyes. And it's a cream pot, and I really love this because it's a cream pot. I've already gifted it to my older relatives who don't want those, glittery chunky eyes, and it looks very beautiful and natural. So you can see this is the shade 02 Praline. The one thing about this eyeshadow is that it lasts for a very long time on your eyes. So it's a great eyeshadow if you look for that, longevity in an eyeshadow. So yeah, it's a great eyeshadow. I really adore this, and you get this like little brush with it too. So yeah, it's wonderful. It has other shades too, and I tried to find whole of them, but they are not really available now in Nikah. Yeah, but if you can get any shade of this, I would say that buy it, because the formula it's really beautiful, wonderful, effortless, and looks really chic on your lids. Now moving on, I have another cream eyeshadow from Charlotte Tilbury. It's in the shade Oyster Pearl, and it's quite expensive for the little pot you get, but it's a beautiful shade nonetheless. And if you're thinking of buying this and splurging on stuff, yeah, it's a great eyeshadow for that. It's in the shade Oyster Pearl, and again, this is extremely creamy. I mean, I've just taken a little drop of it, and see how creamy that is. It looks so chic and glamorous and classy on your lids. It's the shade Oyster Pearl, and again, the lasting power of this eyeshadow, it's amazing. Like, it's wonderful. It looks very effortless, and you can just use your fingers and apply it on your lid. You don't need any extra kind of brushes with this thing. But yeah, it's a wonderful eyeshadow, and if you're thinking of buying this, like, go for it. It's a wonderful cream eyeshadow. Then I have some other singular brands, like I have this radiant eyeshadow from Nikaki. It's again a liquid eyeshadow. Now, I'm not a liquid eyeshadow person, I'm more of a potted eyeshadow person, because liquid eyeshadows, they dry up really quickly, and that's the problem with this shade. This shade is like beautiful. As you guys can see, it's like a purpley periwinkle shade, and looks beautiful on your lids when you kind of diffuse it, because that's the way I like to wear it. It has purple specks in it, and it's very beautiful. And the shade is Lilac Dreams. But I'm going to show you one corner of this, and it like sort of pains my heart. It kind of solidifies inside the bottle. If you ask me of choosing between the Swiss Beauty and this Nikaki Radiant eyeshadow, I would go with the Nikaki, because it's the chunks of metallic glitters or metallic shimmers in it are very finely milled. They're not these chunks of glitters over there. So yeah, they are really wonderful if you want to go for them. Then again, I have this little eyeshadow and liner thing from Elf. I'm not a big fan of them, because the eyeshadow it's really not great. So it's not very blendable. It's not blendable. It doesn't look good on you. So, but I still use it if I want some quick smoky eye, because I like to use products until I hate them with passion, and I don't really hate this thing with passion. It's alright, but it's really mediocre. You can get a good cream eyeshadow at this price from Kiko Milano or K Beauty, but this is not blendable. I will suggest not buying this thing. Then I have my K-Beauty and Nikah collection. I'm including Nikah in this thing because I don't know, I kind of feel like K-Beauty is, you know, sort of extension of Nikah, but whatever. So yeah, it's an independent company, but yeah, I kind of feel like they are heavily promoted on Nikah. So this is the Nikah shade in 0 whatever. Now again, this eyeshadow is not pigmented at all, but if you're looking for that natural kind of look, right, this would look really good because it doesn't have that extra shimmers and glitters. So when you apply it on your eyes, it looks very beautiful. So the shade is Poker Face, and I have the little, you know, kind of mini version of that. Now coming to my favorite stick eyeshadow. So this is from K-Beauty. I've not really tried other stick eyeshadows from high-end brands, but I've tried the K-Beauty ones. So this is Blushed Moonlight. I need to sharpen this a little bit because it's like inside my pencil. And this eyeshadow, it's really beautiful. You know, it's not overly glittery or shimmery. It's beautiful for your natural eye look, and you know, it's highly pigmented, and once you apply this and blend this out, it stays on for a long period of time. I've observed that. So yeah, it's really beautiful. Then next is my favorite K-Beauty eyeshadow. This is in the shade Fortune. Now this eyeshadow, it's wonderful. Okay, now this is like a smoky eye dream. I usually use this with a black eyeliner, and this looks beautiful with that. So this is in the shade Fortune. Again, I really like these K-Beauty eyeshadows because they are very easy to blend and they stay on for a long time, and they're really easy to handle because they're in a stick format, right? Now moving on to my favorite eyeshadows. Like, I've been a broken record for how many times I've mentioned them on my channel, and I've like really made a separate video simping for them. So this is the Essence Melted Chrome, and I'm going to do a little swatchery of them because, you know, you guys might have seen my best wet looking eyeshadow video, and I'm kind of like doing I mean, this is really beautiful and wet looking. Now this eyeshadows, they retail for about 200 to 300 rupees, and you can buy them on Myntra because they're not available on Nikah for some reason, and they look very reflective and chic on your eyes. I mean, I believe that there is two kind of shimmer. One shimmer that is like chunky and glittery but doesn't look good on yourself, and there is another shimmer which is like this shimmer, which is bouncy, silicone-y, and you know, kind of looks effortless on your eyes. So yeah, these are my favorite eyeshadows. I mean, can you see them? They're so gorgeous. Now this is Think About You, Ironic, Platinum Nights, and Silver something. I have an entire video on these eyeshadows, so that's why I'm kind of glossing over them. And yeah, be sure to check that out and find more about these formulas. So yeah, I left some of these cream eyeshadows. Now this is from MAC, and it's a single eyeshadow in Object d'Art. Now I always butcher the name, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So it's a Dazzle Show, Ultra Dazzle Show, I think, eyeshadow. Dazzle Show Extreme eyeshadow, and it's you know, it's all right. I'm not a huge fan of it because it was really expensive. I got this for about 1600. The pigmentation is great and all, but yeah, you can get golds like this from drugstore range too, but the lasting power of this eyeshadow is great, so I'll give it that. Then I have my Wet n Wild single eyeshadows in the shade Newcomer. Now this shade is like a balm, and it has glitter specks infused in it, as you guys can see, and looks really really beautiful and elevated on your eyes. And you know, no one really can guess that this eyeshadow is like for 150 rupees. And you know, it looks like some high-end eyeshadows, and I'm not really joking. And then I have this black eyeshadow, and this is Panther. I've also mentioned Panther in my favorite makeup recommendations, because natural makeup recommendations, because it's the singular black eyeshadow I use on day-to-day basis. Now it's a matte eyeshadow, don't mind the glitter on my eyes, that's from the Swiss Beauty liquid eyeshadows. Okay, now this is very long lasting and it looks wonderful on your eyes. Now, so this is my eyeshadow collection. I hope you like this video, and if you want to give any feedback, I would really love to hear it from you guys. Until then, stay safe, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I would love to see you on my channel again. Bye bye, have a good day.